Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. This is our bonus stream here. I do this once a month because I've hit the $100 threshold on Patreon, which allows me to be able to do the bonus stream. I want to welcome everyone today. In some of the normal games, usually I play games with chat. We might do that at the end if there's time in the 2-hour block. But we're going to focus on building, not building, but carving. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave emote in the chat. If you're here and you're a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave emote in there, let people know. Feel free to say hello. If you're not, hello, Road. If you're not yet a subscriber, consider it. But at the very least, feel free to give me a follow and turn on your notifications so you get notice when I stream. Lashbrook is here. Smash Mouth is here. Hello, friends, and welcome. I forgot that there's the green. There's a little bit of green here in this giant bomb, but it's got a pumpkin on it. So I felt like this was the perfect shirt for this stream, but I forgot that the stem is green. So it looks kind of dumb in this particular shot. We're waiting for a few more folks to join us. We already have a good crew here of views, but we'll wait for a few more folks to pop in before we get to carving. I've got pumpkins. Here's one of them. I'll talk about them a little bit before we get going. I bought 4 pumpkins. Now, eagle-eyed viewers will realize these are small. Now, these pumpkins you normally paint or eat because these are sugar pumpkins. But because of the setup I have here, it's way easier to carve small pumpkins than it is to carve a big pumpkin. I'd have to stand up. I'd have to move all this gear. We could do it. We could do it. But it would be a pain in the ass. So instead, I just bought 4 small pumpkins. And also, pumpkins, often you buy them by the pound. And 4 small pumpkins weigh a hell of a lot less than 2 large pumpkins. Lashbrook asks, what scale would you say these pumpkins are? Lashbrook making a little bit of a reference to some of the gunpla we built here on the stream. I would say that if a big pumpkin is a 160 scale, these are the 144 scale. So this is 144. But they're like the real grade because there's a lot of 2 of them. They're dense. These are heavy pumpkins. It's going to be a bit of a trick to carve them because it's got a lot of meat inside. Because you could just bake this pumpkin. You could just carve it a little bit, take the stem out, take out the seeds, carve this pumpkin up, cook it up, scoop it out. We could save that. We're not going to, but we could. We'll go to the overhead shot, take a look at what's going on here. You can see my costume. Smash Mouth just subscribed. 7th of them more. Would you say this is the heavy arms of pumpkins? I mean, it is heavy. It does not have any arms, so it is a bad heavy arms. But this is a pretty dense pumpkin. And I have 4 of them. I've got one over here. I will show off this pumpkin, which in hindsight, I should not have purchased. It had good working material on it. I'll show you over here. But it doesn't have a big enough stem, really, to make it a good jack-o'-lantern carving pumpkin. This pumpkin would probably be better to paint than it would be to carve. I'm also having trouble finding, I think this is the best carving area. So we'll get to that one later. This might be the last one we do where we really just fuck it up. My goal is to, also, Smash Mouth, thank you for resubscribing. I very much appreciate it. One of my goals for this is to, when you're looking at pumpkins, if you want to look at carving pumpkins, we'll put this in the overhead so you can see there. So you're looking for several things. You're looking for surface area. You're looking for it to be nice and clean. Obviously, there can be gross stuff where you're going to carve out like your mouth or your eyes or your nose. But you don't want around like this down here isn't going to be good because then you have to really cut low for the mouth in order to cover that issue because it just doesn't look appealing. So what I found is here. I made a mark so I could find it. Your stem isn't the most important thing. I do like it when the stem is like this where it's kind of moving back towards for display purposes. If you're really good at carving, you can do it so that you can turn the top around, but I'm not particularly great at that. So I made a little mark for myself. This is the surface I'm going to be working with. Now, tools of the trade. There are many tools you can use. First off, I've got a Sharpie. to kind of draw the outline of what I'm going to be carving. I have an X-Acto knife to score. Now, this is a thick pumpkin, so I won't be using the X-Acto knife to cut in. If this was very hollow of a pumpkin, you could probably use the X-Acto knife for a lot of stuff, and I might use it for fine-tuning. Probably will. I have a steak knife here, which is slid across. This steak knife is going to be my primary carving. It's not super wobbly. The point is a little dull, but especially down towards here, where we're going to be able to get some really good cutting. And then, of course, a spoon, because what I'm really going to do is once I carve out here and start really getting in there, I'm going to be just stabbing a bunch, and then scooping as much as I can into just a container. I have some plastic bags here in a Tupperware container. Show that off there. And as I fill the bag, I'll just pull the bag out, and there'll be more bags. And hopefully I put enough bags in there, and if not, I'll take a break and go get more bags. And then I will just take all those bags with me and put them right in the dumpster on my way out today, so that I don't have just a bunch of pumpkin guts. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we are going to, if you have tips, if you have tricks, if you have comments, feel free to throw them in the chat. I will be reading chat while I carve. I'm also obviously doing this on a couple layers of cardboard here because these can be juicy pumpkins. There can be a lot of water in these pumpkins, and I just don't want to have to clean up the table as much. Got some paper towels, got a roll of paper towels as well. I've got options. But yeah, if you have thoughts, comments, critiques, I am not opposed to hearing those. I think we will start by... So, one of these pumpkins I am going to take with me to work, and it will be on display in our lobby. Lashbrick says, I have no tips. You sound like you know more about this than I ever have. Well, I've been doing this for years. So normally what I do is I will carve a pumpkin and bring it to work. Now, these pumpkins, honestly, the size, right? You most likely, if you buy a pumpkin this size, you're just going to paint it, right? You can even buy them pre-painted now. They do that a lot. You can go and buy a painted pumpkin. We're going to carve them. We're doing this size because of the fact that it is a live stream, and I didn't want to work with the big ones. So one of these will go to my work at UCB East, the East Village location of the UCB Theater. We'll take one with me, maybe two, depending, and at least one. Every step of the way, you'll be making suggestions, and we're really going to fuck it up, and it's going to look stupid. And I'm going to put that out in my apartment. Maybe outside the building, but definitely in the apartment. Okay, so I like to start with the mouth, because basically, we're working in a certain frame. You don't want to go too low, because then you're seeing directly into the base of the pumpkin, which isn't great. And you don't want to go too high, because then you're going to have an issue with your carving. So what I might actually do is, instead of going from the bottom up, I might give myself a line for the lid so that I know to give myself some room. So I just give myself a little bit of a line. It's not going to be perfect. I'm going to cut outside the line, or on the line, so you don't see the Sharpie as much. All right, so that's that. I've got my marking for where my center is, and now I'm going to do the eyes. I'll do the mouth here. Now, one thing about pumpkins is I like a dumb pumpkin. I am not the best artist in the world. I would never claim to be the best artist in the world. In fact, I'm pretty terrible at it. So my pumpkins have a general dumb sense to them. Most of my pumpkins look very stupid. Because stupid is easy to make. Silly, goofy, nonsensical, fun. So I like a big, dumb, open mouth. I don't think I've carved in pumpkin since like 2012. Well, Road, that's a while. It's been a bit. Maybe we'll do teeth in this first one. Big open mouth. Vampire fangs. Let's just do one tooth on this. We'll do two bottom teeth. So here's my big mouth. As you can see, I'm going to do two big teeth right there. Can't really erase it too much when you're working with Sharpie, but because I am using a permanent marker. but it won't be too noticeable if we do our cuts right where I fucked that up. So yeah, so we're going to do that. That's a giant mouth. And then I think I'm going to do triangle eyes because those are pretty easy to do. So let's find our middle. Triangle eyes. And then if you ever went to my Instagram, which is it's Pat Bear, ITSPATBAR, AER, I should say, BAR, you'll see that this looks very similar to another pumpkin that I've carved. This is kind of my basic ass pumpkin carving. So you can see that right there. That's kind of what our pumpkin's gonna look like. And then I'm just gonna, once I'm done with those two, I'm gonna freehand a nose because my eyes could end up being bigger, my mouth could end up being bigger. So I'm not gonna mark a nose. I'm just gonna freehand it at the end. So that's kind of what our outline's gonna look like. And then what I really prefer to do is carve out the lid and then start carving the inside and scooping out the inside because it's gonna make carving the face a lot easier. Scoring, we don't have to worry about too much here in our X-Acto knife. We're just making some cuts to make our steak knife use easier. So we're just doing some scoring here with our X-Acto knife, making sure not to cut ourselves. This is a fairly new X-Acto knife. In fact, I bought it, and the only thing I've used this for is, as you can see on the left and right, my Halloween costume. Now that's the lighting isn't particularly great. That's a dark blue Lego piece I made. I'll take more photos probably on actual Halloween. But yeah, that's the first time I've used this X-Acto knife. I'll probably use it for other cardboard later, but when we make our cuts, we are stabbing inward. All the way around. You can see I am doing it at an angle, not straight up and down. It will make things a lot easier. It actually makes the pumpkin, the lid sit way easier on our pumpkin by doing that. There is a method to that. So once again, we're just scoring it. We're just going around. If we see the Sharpie, if we didn't carve out the Sharpie, I'm not worried. We're making little cuts here and there. And then go around. This is definitely a juicy pumpkin. You can already see a lot of juice on it as it is a sugar pumpkin. Great. So we did that. Now we're going to, I'm not going to bother cleaning this. I mean, you wipe it off and all that. I'm not going to worry about it too much because we will be using it a lot. Now we're going to get into this part here where we are, once again, just going around, following the cuts we've already made. The worst thing we could do is carve this in a way that our lid falls in, which is why we're going like this, because we don't want to have to make some sort of apparatus to keep our lid from sitting. So that's why we are stabbing inward, not westward. We're stabbing inward. Is stabbing westward a reference that anyone gets? Does anyone know what I'm talking about when I say stabbing westward? I barely know what I'm talking about, and I like that band's one album that I bought and listened to. Lasper got it. Sadly, yes, from Sector 7. First time hearing from Sector 7 today to let me know that, yes, they got my reference. All right, we're almost done here. We got to carve in along here. I'm trying to be very gentle with this because I don't want to break this. So I'm just being very gentle, but I can feel it. Great. Okay. There we go. And then what you'll do is you want to just slice off. There, you can make this a little hollow. These guts, you don't want these guts. I don't enjoy cooked pumpkin seeds, so I will not be saving the seeds. Some people like roasted pumpkin seeds. They really very much enjoy them. And these seeds would be great because this is a good meaty pumpkin. But yeah, and we're going to take our excess, put it in our bin. This is the point where our hands get dirty. So I will try not to type. I will try not to use the mouse. And then we just kind of line this up here. Okay, so that's how it looks. Nice and easy. Now, one thing we want to be careful of is when we are scoring this pumpkin, or we're not scoring this pumpkin, we are carving this pumpkin here, is that we don't do anything to really ruin our lid placement. So as we cut around, we are going to try not to cut too much of the lid. Right now I am just cutting. I am stabbing. I am cutting. I am getting whatever I can out of there before we do the knife. Or sorry, before we leave the knife and go and get our scissors. I'm just cutting things away, getting the strands, getting whatever I can out first. I'm going to take a container and put it on the side. That doesn't look great, I know, but you know, if this was a cooking show, I would use a metal bowl, right? You see everybody's seen that in cooking shows where all the refuse and waste goes into like a metal bowl, and I'm like, no, I'd rather you're probably cooking in that. Like even though it's not obviously it's just food waste, it's not like garbage, but I'm like, no thanks. Clean that up a little bit. Yeah, so right now I'm just gonna cut. I'm just doing cutting motions, as you can see in there, kind of cutting things out. That pumpkin looks hungry. Yeah, right. He's hungry. I know some people do stuff where they'll like leave some of the guts in, or they'll carve it and then have the guts like pouring out of it. I'm not going to be gross with that. We might, because also now obviously Halloween is in 2 days, so we only need these the last 2 days. But it's getting kind of cold here in New York, and the heat is on in my apartment. And what we don't want to do is have this pumpkin rot. So when I carve pumpkins, I usually don't. I usually wait about this long. Sometimes I even carve like the day of. I buy a pumpkin, let it sit outside, and then carve it, you know, the night of Halloween, All Hallows Eve. So yeah, I'm just chopping in here. This is the easiest part, really, of the whole process because you got to put some elbow grease into using your spoon, especially since it's so meaty. I was going around. I'm kind of scraping. You can see in there that there are those strands. There's not a lot of strands in this one, which is great. The strands are sometimes the pumpkin guts, as they say, are sometimes the hardest thing, but a spoon will actually take care of that way better. And then the one thing you're kind of worried about is you can see from here there is a good amount of meat, but sometimes you end up with a pumpkin that when you start scraping it, a lot comes off, which is not helpful for the structure of the pumpkin. But this being a small pumpkin, as long as our mouth isn't over encumbered or like too much, we should be okay. So then we'll just do that, do a shake off. Oh, I didn't make it so you could see the shake off. We're just shaking off our pumpkin here. Some guts are coming out. Still got a lot of seeds left in here that we got to get out and a lot of strands of garbage. Just go in with the knife, kind of cut around it a little bit. And you could skip the X-Acto knife step certainly and just go right to using your knife. You could skip the completely and totally skip the Sharpie part and just use a knife and freehand it. You could do a stencil. Some people print out, stencils for their pumpkins and trace them and go and just kind of score it with that, or cut it with that kind of device like that. There's a lot of options. But this is the method I've been using since I was a kid. It's how I learned how to do it, and I like the style. All right, we'll probably go back to having to get in there with a knife, but let's turn to a spoon just for a little bit and do a little carving. Just look, circular motions. Just circular motions. This table's going to shake a little bit, and the camera will shake. I apologize for that. Imagine if I had a big pumpkin, a big, heavy pumpkin, turned on its side, and I was really scooping it out. This would shake a lot more than the smaller one. And someday, maybe I will do that. We'll grow into a big pumpkin. But it felt better to do this small pumpkins. Ugh, look at all that goop. Look at all that goop. This is good. This is already going better than I thought it would, which is great. 20 minutes. And I will post photos of whatever pumpkin ends up, or if I take two, whichever pumpkin or pumpkins end up at UCB, I'll take a photo and put it on my Twitter and put it in the uh, Discord, the Build with Bear Discord. YouTube watchers, check your show description for a link to that. Everybody else, I'll put a link up in about a half hour or so. Take a little break and put all the ad stuff up. So yeah, so this one I'm freehanding. The other ones I will be asking y'all in chat for your ideas of what we should do. I'm now doing a scraping method here with the spoon. Just kind of doing the sides. And making sure that I am not taking anything out from the rim here as much as possible, so that my lid stays on. All right, so this is the skin of this is pretty fibrous, so we are trying to scrape all the fibers out. You can see that there. I'm trying to scrape all the fiber to leave it a more almost white color. Much more paler than the orange. And sometimes you end up with a pumpkin that is so fibrous that you can't get all the fibers. It just goes all the way down. And then you just have to realize that, well, that pumpkin's going to rot fast. So, oh well, we fucked up and we got a bad pumpkin. Because they don't let you stick a knife in a pumpkin. Harold is now hosting the stream. Thank you very much for that, Harold. Appreciate that. I hope some of your fans will like this stream. A little different than our normal stream. But if you like building, folks, if this is your first time here, or you don't normally tune in, I normally stream on Thursdays and Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. I do Lego kits and model kits, mostly Gundam. I do some Dragon Ball stuff. And this weekend, I don't know when exactly. I will post it when it is. Not only will I do my 2 normal streams, but I'm going to be on someone else's stream. And I'm going to do my first ever building tutorial where I work with someone that has never built a model kit before on one of their streams. I can't say any more than that. I've probably said too much because we have not finalized anything and it could fall apart. But I did want to say, keep your eyes on my Twitter feed because it looks like I'm going to be doing a bonus stream on someone else's stream besides my normal Thursday and Saturday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. streaming. Neon Nazgul just subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much, Neon. I will probably just call you Neon. But thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, your Twitch Prime is a great way to do that, to subscribe. You have to manually renew it, but it is a great way to support me because I get the same amount. I am a Twitch affiliate. I am not a partner. I am an affiliate. I have been streaming for about a year and a couple months, and I have been a affiliate for, I believe, a year now. I believe September or October, I became a partner. I have to look it up, or not a partner, an affiliate. All right, so we're just scraping. Eventually, we shove our knife in here and just start cutting again. But yeah, we're trying to get to a nice pale color on the inside, which just means it's all done out. Because what we don't want, honestly, when you look inside a jack-o'-lantern, you don't want to see guts. You want to see a nice yellow or orangish yellow color, and you don't want to see the insides. And sometimes you can't help it. And then also, our front stuff, when we carve this out, it'll actually make it a lot easier to get at some of these guts. But not all of them. So, and we certainly want to get all the seeds out. There's still a couple seeds left in here. So now just scraping with the knife. This is a pretty sharp steak knife. It's not as super sharp because I don't want to cut myself. And it doesn't need to be super sharp for this. Sharper knife, obviously safer than a dull knife. This is not dull by any means. But, and then I'm always, as I said, just very careful that I am not. And every once in a while you can check, make sure you haven't fucked up. But yeah, I'm still good on this. Because you can always cut more, obviously. You can always cut more. You can't cut less. That's a very obvious statement I just made, but it's true. You can't undo it. You can work with it. Like when we're cutting this out, if I cut through one of these teeth, if I have room, I could do another tooth. But if I already do here and then try to do over here, well, if I cut this off, then I ran out of teeth. So when I cut down, I'm going to try to go this way so I could put a tooth over here if I need to. Because I would like to have a couple lower teeth on this, our pumpkin friend. All right, there you go. That's gross. It's not gross, really, honestly. It's a little gross. It's not the grossest. And of course, I won't be doing 100% of this. You know, like the fine tuning. I won't do all the scraping because that wouldn't be fun. So I'll do some of it kind of off camera after we're done. I'll do most of it, obviously. I'm going to get all the seeds out, but there's probably going to be a little scraping that I'll do off camera to finish these off because it's more fun. This isn't the fun part. This is the necessary part, but it's not as fun. So yeah, I'll probably do some scraping off stream. Kind of like fine tuning. I have been waiting. You can't cut less should be a Zen Cohen. Cohen. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it's typical. You can't undo a cut once you make it. I mean, the real thing you say is measure twice, cut once, right? That's not just like a saying. It's like that's fucking practical and good practical advice. All right, so we still got some. We still have to scrape some stuff out. We still got some gunk, but we're gonna move on to the face carving part. Just get in there with the spoon and kind of using actual scraping part of it. There's nothing clean about this. I'm taking precautions to save my workspace as best I can. I'm still going to wipe down the table before Thursday. Like, obviously. All right. And almost ready for... We're going to move on here. Like I said, I'll make this nice and pretty after the stream. But let's get to carving. We're going to clean up our face a little bit here. Not my face, this face. And then I will endeavor, put that there to make it a little easier, to carve this face. I'm going to try to do it so you can see it on camera. So I will start with the X-Acto knife. And then, there's one more seed in there I want to dig out. Just because it will be annoying to me. All right, so I'm going to try to cut outside of the Sharpie so that when we cut it out, the Sharpie is gone and you don't see it. All right. And we can always shave it if we need to. So I have scored pretty much where I want my knife to be. And then we will just score this chunk a little bit as well. And we'll do the other eye here. Just kind of scoring it, making our life a little easier, giving us an idea of how we're going to go. You often are fighting the grain here sometimes when you're carving. There are natural places where your knife wants to cut, and it's important to kind of not fight it because you don't want to hurt yourself. I'm going to leave this stream injury-free, and part of that is doing a good job. Now, one thing I'm keep realizing is my instinct is to put this back into its holder, but I don't want to get pumpkin guts inside this because it will be very hard to clean. So I'm fighting my instincts and just putting it down away from me, a very sharp X-Acto knife. Way to jinx yourself. Well, Trilution, part of this obviously is I I am going to be free. I'm not drinking myself. I am making declarative statements uh, because I have a responsibility to be safe because I have people watching me do this. And part of all of my build stuff is not just instructional or not just entertainment, it's instructional, right? So we're going to be fine. All right, so I have now done that. I'm just doing slices through and kind of bending down that. I'm digging in. Obviously, I talked to myself, as you can see, the eye to the top, that I should have done this farther down, right? We're going to do better on our next one. This is not a lot of material here, so I'm trying to be very careful that I don't overcut the top of this because I overdrew it. So this was a mistake on my part, right? I came down too far on the lid and fucked it up. So I am actually going to overdo the bottom of the eye so that I can just do down. And then we'll see how we look on the inside. Haven't really gone in there. Okay. So now that we have a good cut, we can pop it out. Popped it right out. I popped it actually inside, which is great. Now you might be saying, well, that didn't go all the way through, Pat. That's fine. I didn't need to go all the way through. I just need a place to work from. This is a lot easier to work from than where we were. And then this part is just completely coming apart. It didn't do as the other one did, which is how I like it. It's fine. But yeah, this gave us something to work with, and now we can do minor cuts and really get in there. I'm going to try to do this on the side here so that you can see what I'm doing. But yeah, we now just are going to make some deeper cuts, and we're going to cut all the way through. And then we can pull it out, or we can push it through. I'm fine with either way. Yeah, and then we did it. There's our eye. Here's our other eye. And now we're just making minor corrective cuts to open it up a little bit. You would put, obviously, in the olden days, and then some people still do this, in a nice big pumpkin, they put an actual tiny candle in there. I prefer to get one of the tabernacle lights, the little tabernacle lights that are just little battery operated lights, and you stick one of those in there and shine it through instead of a fucking candle, which is, to me, honestly, asking for trouble. And you would only do that outside. You wouldn't do that inside the house, I don't think. But some people still do it. Some people still do their little tabernacle motu little candles. They put real candles in their pumpkins. I don't think I've ever done that. All right, so I'm going to file out this a little bit here. All right. So of course we would finish this off here. We'd really dig in, really make sure that it looks good in all the ways and cut out any of the gunk, but we've got two eyes. I'm happy with those eyes. One's a little lower than the other. I do not care. As I said, this is a dumb pumpkin. So now we have what is arguably the hardest thing. Easy to fuck up. There's a lot to cut here. So there's a lot of ways to fix our mistakes by just changing the design midstream. That's the main thing. Now, when you do a stencil on a pumpkin, you need to carve that stencil. And if you fuck it up, you really fuck it up. With this, I'm just going to be trying to score outside of the Sharpie so that we don't see the Sharpie remnants. And then this is where I'm going to get really freehand with the smile. I'm going to be okay fucking up the smile. I'm just scoring it kind of how I would like. I'm not going that deep at all. I'll be doing that with the steak knife. Now, some folks would say, you're using a steak knife, you should be using a paring knife. Paring knife, as you may know, is shorter. It's a lot thicker of a blade. There's not any real give to it, whereas this one has some give to it. And I would say to them, you're right. I should be using a paring knife. Do I own a paring knife? No. Did I think it was necessary to buy a paring knife just for this stream? No. So did I buy a paring knife? No. Probably should have, but I didn't. Instead, I'm using a steak knife, which I own. But this is a good steak knife. And honestly, I'm really using the tip in there, and then I can push it farther back to do some sawing motion if I have to. Um, if this was a larger pumpkin, that might be a problem. All right, so then we're going to make a cut here, like that. We cut like this, cut like that. Let's open it up really so you can see. Just, as you may have noticed by everything I've been doing on the stream, I am left-handed, which I don't think has come up on stream before. But yeah, I'm left-handed. I'm in my right mind, as they say. All right, and then we're just going to carve that there. We're going to go score it along with a Sharpie. And one thing using X-Acto knife is you can't really easily do circular, like I want to do more of a circle here, an angle. Can't really do that. But we just scored it a bunch to make our life a little easier. And we'll take that off, put that aside. I keep thinking the lid hole is the mouth and get confused. I understand. Now, because some of it I'm doing like, yeah, this is not the pumpkin we made. This isn't, honestly, for the work I do, this could really be the pumpkin. Like, the kind of work I do, that could totally be the result of me working on a pumpkin, would be that. But that's not it. It's this. It's just, you know, I'm trying to make it so you can see what I'm doing while I do it. All right, so now we're going to do some cuts here. I'm going to do my first cut. Just kind of narrow, right? Just making some cuts in, not trying to take out, not trying to go all the way through. I'm just going deep in, and we'll go back and do a saw motion and really get in there. Right now, I'm just making pretty deep cuts. I don't need to go all the way through, and I don't need to cut the whole thing, because then I'll go back and really saw it. See that there? Mostly got it. And then I'll go back and like this and really make sure that I'm cutting through the whole thing. Even go against the grain a little bit. All right, that looks real good. For that, just kind of cleaned it up. And now I will try to carve out these teeth by just doing this, each part of it on its own. See that like that? I'll do that as well here. Just try to cut. If I go over, obviously, not a big deal. I've shaken the table a little bit. I'm trying not to shake the table here, because I know that's frustrating, because I have, not only do I have my camera, the me camera on this table, and I don't want to mess that up, also the arm, the overhead, that one can sometimes get rocked if the table shakes. So I'm trying not to do that, so I apologize if I've done that. All right. Here we go. Carve that down. Carve that down. Now I'll try to do this part here. Go against there. Make sure I'm not cutting off that. And I will do this part here. I forgot my own advice, which was to do the outside part before I do the inside. Do the inside last. So in case I overcut and cut out my tooth, I have room to do. I did not do that on this one. I didn't do my own advice. Look at me. Not doing my own advice. And I'll just cut that down there. And then nice and easy. Do that. That. All right, just have to do the sides. And then this will pop out. And just kind of cutting it nice and easy here. My life easier. And then we'll do the other side, which has, and because it's already been scored, it's not too hard to do this. And I'm in no rush. It's 4:10. We might not get to by 5:30. We might not get to all 4 pumpkins, but we'll do as many as we can. I'll show out that, but I'm not going to do one fast and dirty. I don't want to fuck anything up. All right, so honestly, it would be probably the coolest if I just pushed this and it all popped out, but I'm going to cut down the middle and do it in sections to make my life easier. And then, because I don't want to fuck this up, because I like what this looks like. And hopefully, I'm going to put pressure on my finger here to score this part. Oh, this cut, not score it, but to try to protect the tooth. I got to cut a little bit more, it looks like, in here. There. Should come out. Oh, no, it's coming out. No, the tooth's coming out. No. 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 I maybe made the tooth too small. No. No. Don't come out, tooth. Stay in there. Yeah. That tooth did not want to stay, which is a shame. So, we're now down to just one tooth. This one counts. This is now going to be a mouth with one tooth in it. So, we got to do our damnedest to keep this in place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make some cuts. I'm going to protect this as much as I can. I'm very disappointed in myself in the very first pumpkin I did. 1-2 pumpkin is still a valid style, says Juliana Hardstone. Thank you, Juliana. I appreciate that support. I'm bummed, but I'm not discouraged. Do like that. Just like that. Great. Took this big chunk out. Fuck you, big chunk. Get out of here. Clean this up a little. And then do our damnedest to get this tooth out without there being an issue. Let's do that. Just do it in sections sometimes. Just gotta do it in sections. Alright, we took that out. And then I just gotta carve this piece down here out. Hooray, we did it. We got a tooth. This needs to be cleaned up. We're gonna do that right now. There we go. There's our pumpkin. And then we can take our knife and kind of chop up some of the gunk. As you notice, this is very low in the mouth because these are small pumpkins. So you can see all the guts inside, which if you're doing a mouth that went to like here, it would be a lot easier to overlook some of the gunk inside. But because of the way I carved this, I really need to clean it out because you can see in there. We'll do a smaller mouth on our next one probably. All right. Also, now you can just scoop out through the mouth instead of going through the top, which makes some of the final cleaning easier. Some of the scraping will be a lot easier because now I'm just scraping around the mouth area. And I will finish up this off screen. But not exactly what I wanted, but overall it popped right off there. And now the final step is to add a nose, which we are going to do freehand here. We are going to do a very small little nose. I'm going to use the X-Acto knife, and I am going to do line, middle, middle, just going to do a nice, quick, little tiny thing here. Very small little nose, just to finish it off. And I'll reveal it once I'm done with it. Save a chunk of toothpick in a dental implant. Yeah, that's kind of fun to do, like a little, to do. I've seen pumpkins where people have put like actual teeth in there, like gold teeth, or, you know, not actual teeth, but like actual replacement teeth. I've seen that before. That's pretty fun. So I'm just freehanding a weird little nose to go in this. Doesn't look great. It doesn't look right, but it does look like something. Just exacting out a little nose. For some reason, for me, noses are one of the hardest things to carve. I don't know why. All right. And I want to be careful I'm not getting too close to anything else. And then I'll just scrape out around the bottom, scrape out a little bit more. And like I said, I'll go in and really gut this with a spoon after the fact. But yeah, there we go. Our first pumpkin has been completed. All right, that took longer than I would have liked, but we'll move a little quicker once we're getting going. But there we go. One pumpkin done. Look at that. Look at our friend. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to clean it up, but he's nice and silly. Got a dumb nose, big old mouth, big eyes. You can see the Sharpie around where I did this here, because which is hard to trim out. But yeah. One done. We finished the pumpkin. Congratulations, everybody. You all did very little other than be encouraging and hanging out. All right, so it's time for our second pumpkin. We're going to move all this stuff off. Throw that in there, in our bag. Just clean up the workspace a little bit. Obviously, we're going to make it just as dirty with our next pumpkin, which is this one. This one's a little bit of a taller friend. We're probably gonna work smaller on this one. Thank you, Lashbrook, for throwing the Bear Cave emote. Yeah, if you're a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave emote in chat. Let the people know what's up. All right, so this next one is a tall friend. And now I'm going to do a judgment on what is the best work surface here. I believe it is this here. We'll do a bit of a mark so I know. There's some dirt and gunk on the back. There was a sticker, which you can't see on stream, but I can see. When I took the sticker off, it showed it a much more cleaner orange. But I believe this to be the center. This is the best angle, so I'll put a little stab. But yeah, this is going to be our work surface. So we're going to work smaller in this because we don't want to go so wide on this pumpkin because it is a taller pumpkin. I want to have a little variety in the look. So, chat, I ask you to help me. Let's design, while I Sharpie out what is going to be the lid, I want to hear from you. What kind of mouth? Let's talk about a mouth. What kind of mouth do we want? You can include things like vampire teeth, lots of teeth, tiny mouth, puckered mouth, big mouth, whatever you want to say. I want your feedback of what you would like this pumpkin, what you would like it to look like while I kind of carve out the top here. Let me know in the chat what you would like to see our pumpkin friend do while I score the top of this pumpkin. All right. There. Yeah, it can be anything. Let me know. Obviously, I've got ideas of pumpkin carving I haven't done yet, things that I know I'm good at. Can always do that. But if there is something you really want to see in this pumpkin, please let me know. We've got 14 of you watching the stream live, so somebody's got an opinion of a thing they want in this pumpkin. They need something they need in this pumpkin. This pumpkin's gotta have this. I mean, also, I'll just do it. If you don't want to, it's okay. Okay, well, nobody needs a thing. I'll just make whatever. I'll just make my pumpkin the way I want to make it. As you can see, since this is a sugar pumpkin, a lot of liquid just popped out the top when I started cutting into it. So it got very messy right off the bat. It's okay. Not the end of the world. As long as I keep clearing it, it'll be fine. All right, no one has an opinion on a mouth, so I will just do whatever I want. I was thinking Cyclops, but I don't know what kind of mouth to go with that. Well, Lashbrook, you got ahead of me. This is a Cyclops. So thank you for that. I appreciate that idea. This is indeed going to be a Cyclops. So once again, when we were carving the top, in case you joined us late and you missed it when we did the last pumpkin, I am trying to make it so that the lid will rest inside. So I am not going straight into the pumpkin. I'm carving in at an angle. It should be frowning from Road. Road wants a frowning. So we were making a unhappy Cyclops. Great. Thank you, Road, for that. So yeah, so I'm going to put a frowny face on this one. It's going to have a frowny mouth and have one eye. The thing with doing a small pumpkin like this is we probably never have room for eyebrows because of the lid that we're constructing. But I think the frown, I'll have to make the frown in a way that lets people know this is an unhappy pumpkin. This jack-o'-lantern did not want to be carved. It wanted to become a pumpkin pie. And instead we were like, no, you're going to be carved and tossed aside. You can't even be painted. And then here's a trick, folks. If you're painting your pumpkins, Halloween, no paint, Thanksgiving pumpkin, and you just leave it out. Because especially if you're not carving it, it'll last quite some time. Carved pumpkins do not last that long, especially indoors, especially in the heat. But yeah, if you're just doing if you're just painting a pumpkin, you can just turn it around, and then it's a Thanksgiving pumpkin. Just real angry about the lack of depth perception. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to do an eyebrow for our pumpkin. All right, so now I'm just doing a rock back and forth. This is not coming up, which means I need to make my cuts deeper. Now we're at the stage where I make my deeper cuts. I can feel the rock back now. And obviously we don't want to pull too hard because we'll just pull the stump right off, and then our lid will suck ass. We already got one pumpkin, which I should not have bought. I like the roundness of this pumpkin, but as you can see, the lid is going to be, I'm going to make it very tiny or very wide. Either one, I don't know yet, but I'm going to have to do something. I might have to, and this sucks, I might have to take it and wrap it in like gaff tape or something so that it can come on and off easily. You would probably want to use like brown packing tape or something like that. You could get some green paper to wrap it around and wrap the whole thing in that. There are ways to go around it, to do it. I don't think it's been a long time since I did that, so I'm not 100% sure. All right, so I'm still carving out here. Still using my knife to make nice cuts on an angle here. I'm still moving the whole table while I do it. There we go. I can feel it now. It's coming. We'll just be nice with it here. Cutting all the way around. Cutting all the way around. Booyah! So we did that. We know where our front is. for our design. It's right here. Pull that out, put that down, and then we'll just chop off this part. Make it easier for us. And making sure that we're not chopping any of this off. And then when we cut down, we're going to make sure that we're not chopping any of that off either. All right, so we will do all our cuts in here and all our big cuts and all our scraping. We'll work on the face a little bit just so I can see what it looks like. Frown, huh? Here's a nice little tip. Thinking about this, y'all. Here's some actual practical advice I can give you. I've been doing some of that. Fucking just draw it on the fucking cardboard. I kind of like that. Obviously, it's backwards for y'all, and I'm not going to flip this around. Like that. No, I don't like that as much. Nice big eye. Big frown. Crescent moon frown. Or circle. This. Trying a bunch of options. My first one is my actual thing I think I like the best. I gotta have some carve to it. It can't be flat. It's gotta have some bend to it. If I could carve out like that. That's kind of fun. You was thinking it should be a bit wider. So like... I don't know. We're gonna see. Crescent shaped on the top of the mouth, but like wider. Like I forgot what the stage of the moon that is. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Like, here's the eye. Like that, almost. The mouth is more open. Huh. This one so far is my favorite. I mean, not the eyes. The eyebrows I fucked up. Now he's got hair. Because I could just do this. Just cut out a big mouth like that. Because obviously, if I wanted to do a big grin, I would do that. To circle eye, cut like that. Sort of like the one, but smaller, like the one you were doing in the beginning, but a bit bigger. So, like that. All right, well, we're going to figure it out. I'm doing some cuts there. Text isn't helpful, Road. We're going to figure it out, though. We'll make it work. We'll get to where we want it to be. I appreciate your comments. It is helpful. Like I said, we got 2 other pumpkins besides this. We'll figure it out. We might only get to 3 today, but I'm excited to work on them. What we might just do is I might just draw on one with a Sharpie, and the last one is just a Sharpie one. If we're running low on time. I do have not much time after the stream before I do have to go to work, so I try to do this as late in the day as possible for folks. But okay. Gourd. Gourd. We gotta chop more in there. Okay. So this goes like this. I'm gonna draw my eye so I know where my eye is. My eye is going to be here. And then, so that's my eye. Sort of like that, but the ends of the mouth go down a bit more. So that this would come up some. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a frown. Start with a frown. So I know I have that. There's my eye. That's a good amount of chunk there in between. And there's my mouth. Start. Because this is the tall one, right? This is the tall one, so I can go with it. And I can go deeper. I can go wide down more. But I'm not going to go that wide with it. So we know we have that. Now, how we actually accomplish the frown, we don't know yet. But we do know we have that far. So while I'm scooping, we can think about it, we can talk about it, we can figure it out. I'm just going to get my knife in here, start making some more cuts. Really just cut it out. Like I said, I'll do all the finishing touches. I might even do less scraping on this one than I did before and just do that later. I'll do that tonight when I get home. Finish it off. But I do want to do some of it so you can see what it is. So now we have that as like a base, and I can figure out how this frown is going to work from there. Because we can always cut it bigger and deeper if we got to. Take this up here. We're going to make a nice big scoop. Erg. Arg. Scooped it out. Scooping it out. Scooping it out. Trying to at least get all the seeds out. If not, all of the side stuff. All right. Cut here. Like I said, I've got 4 bags in this container, so when one bag gets too full, I'll just pull it out, and I still have more bags. It's very helpful. When I'm doing a big pumpkin, or like a giant pumpkin, I just have a trash can. I just have a trash bin right near me, you know, like a kitchen trash can, one of those size, and then I just move everything right into it. But this time, obviously, since I'm streaming and these are small pumpkins, I don't have to go that extreme. But yeah, it's important to just take this right out to your outside trash bins or your cans, or if you have compost. This is all, you know, plant matter. Totally, I believe fine to do that. Don't quote me on that. But at the very least, it is all food compost, so it should compost down and break down. I don't know about the seeds. I actually don't know about the seeds. So don't quote me on that. I'm no expert when it comes to that stuff. Okay. So we got some of that done. We didn't get all of it done, but we got a lot of it done. So now it's time to figure out this. Figure this out. So we know that we're going to go like this. It's going to be grumpy. It's frowning. It's unhappy. He's grumpy. He or she or they are grumpy. They are grumpy. So we know that. Let's just cut that out and we'll see what happens. So circle is tough, not just for a pumpkin, but also for me in general. So I am just going to do small little cuts. And then with the steak knife, I will do small little cuts. And then I will just shave things down to as best I can. I'm not good with circles in general, so I don't usually do circular eyes. But in my mind, a cyclops looks like a normal eye more than anything else. It's just that obviously the one of them. So I want to try to make it as much as a regular circle as I can. Because I know that, because I think it'll look better as a cyclops. All right, we scored it. Now we can slice into it. Thanks for everybody who's joined me today. If you don't normally watch my streams, this is unusual for me. This is still, I think, within the realms of the Build with Bear workshop, although obviously normally I am doing model kits, mostly Gundam model kits. I've done Dragon Ball Z stuff. We did a Voltron minifig set, but I am primarily in the Gundam sphere. We do Lego sets. We're currently working on this is particular break here. I'll be back on Thursday with the Lightning Jet, which is from the Ninjago series in Lego. We've done a lot of Star Wars stuff. Right now, I've been doing a lot of Ninjago because the Star Wars tax is high. All the Star Wars kits are expensive, whereas the Ninjago stuff is not bad. I think it was like $40 for this 800-piece set that we're currently working on. Just tons of minifigs and very cool. I do have a soft spot for the Star Wars sets, but I haven't minded having a break. So I'm being very careful with this, just making tiny, long cuts now. I was making larger cuts before, shallow cuts before. Now I can kind of dig it out a little bit. And then it feels like it's ready. I can pull it out. And then I will just finish in the bottom here. Yeah, so I haven't scraped enough on the back of this, so it was a little annoying to cut out. That is definitely a good reason to do the carving and scraping of the insides, because you get rid of some material for when you're trying to cut through. So that is one of the benefits to the scraping method, besides cleaning it up, making it look less gross. Really getting in there. And then also trying not to stab yourself with the back of your spoon. Some folks might even go so far as to put rubber on the back of their spoon to make it a little easier. I didn't do that. But if I was doing a lot of pumpkins, I might do that. Make my life a little easier. Alright, so I'm just going to scrape around where the mouth is going to be to make that easier for me to do when that time comes. Because obviously, as I said, didn't do a thorough job this time as I did in the last one, because I want to have enough time to do at least one more pumpkin. Alright. So now we'll just clean this out a little bit here. Just kind of nice and clean it out. You can use the X-Acto knife if you like, if you don't want to use your regular knife, which as I said, should most likely be a paring knife. We're using a steak knife. Paring knife would probably be better. Great, so we got our eye. And we've got a mouth that I know that this is going to be that, but it won't be this. It won't be like straight across. It won't be like that. It'll be like this, and then something else happens. So it won't be like this full across. But it wants to be open some. I'm going off the instructions that Road gave me. So we've got our eye, and we've got this. We know we have this. Now, the ends of the mouth go down a bit more, so we could do that. And then we could do this. Road, is that kind of more what you were thinking of? Where it kind of goes down and there's still some meat left in it? Let me know if that's more what you're thinking of, or less of that, like that. Like it looks like it's in despair. Yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to get it right. This is what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do this. I think that's going to look good. I can always deepen it. I can always cut more out of it, but I think that's how I want to try to do this. So we're going to go with that for now. I think maybe the end should taper off to be thinner at the center from Lashbrook, something like that. That's what you want. Okay, we're going to try this out. We're going to see what happens. Folks, this is honestly, for me, this is exciting because this is the first time I've ever gotten like instruction from people about what they wanted. All the pumpkins I've ever made in my life have just been what I wanted to do. So obviously that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. My normal bonus game stream that I normally do is a chance to play like Quiplash and other games with the community or show off games. Like we've done a thing where I've shown off fun decks that I've made in Hearthstone, or I showed off Yakuza 0 on the PC with mod with a trainer and showed off how it is what it's like to cheat in that game, and a little bit of Yakuza 0 anyway, just regular playing. We still ended up just doing a mission that didn't involve fighting. We just did one of my favorite missions in the game. But this is fun for me because yeah, this is getting the chat involved. Because I wouldn't be doing this without y'all. When I'm building, we talk about stuff, and it's very fun. And so for me, this is always the highlight of the stream is when I can interact with people. That's why I do the bonus game stream, as a way to like do something with y'all. All right, so we'll do this. Okay, so we did that. Now we will get in there with our knife and just kind of, oops, knocking this off. Just kind of follow along. And I'm going to be a little shallow with the first cuts, and then I go in deeper with the other ones. And then I will also do this as a way to just make my life easier as far as cutting the piece out by cutting it in half. And that'll go deep. Once I'm done with this, we will I will take my ad break, and then we'll probably just do one more pumpkin. I don't think we're going to get to 4 pumpkins in the 2.5 hours. I can go a little longer than I was planning, but not much longer, because I have to get this uploaded as I'm getting ready to go to work. And also just decompress from the stream before I start my actual job, which is not a hard job. It is, I do have to focus. I would never say that my job is difficult. On occasion, it's stressful. If there's like a big showcase, like, you know, we're not telling the audience, but all the performers know that they're being looked at for SNL or the Just for Laughs festival or something like that, or some other job. My job can sometimes be a little stressful because I want to do a good job for all my friends and strangers who I don't know but still want to do well. So sometimes my job is stressful. But I do like to get in a good mindset. So when I do these streams before I go to work, I like to have a little bit of time to just kind of sit and relax. And I also have to, upload this, take a photo, put it in the Discord, get that stuff ready, and then once it's uploaded, send it to Patreon. But I'll have to do that from work because it won't be ready in time. So we've done our outside cuts. Now I'm just going to go back through and just kind of saw in. I'm going to go deep and just do a saw motion. Do deep and do a saw motion. I can already feel this one wanting to come up. And to make my life easier, I can also do more cuts than I did there. Although I think that's almost ready to come out. Yeah. I can just try to pry it out. Even just use the back of the spoon. Yeah, there's one chunk out. We got to obviously do some editing to it, but that's a chunk out. And then we'll Sorry, I got quiet here for a second. I don't want to fuck this up. All right, there we go. And then I will just carve out some of this with my knife. Make some adjustments I think are good for it, and then I'll see what y'all think. Gonna switch to the X-Acto knife here. And once I remember, sometimes you can't undo the cuts we make, which we've been talking about in here. So if I do it too much, I might not be able to undo it. So gonna make this a little sharper here. This looks weird. I'm gonna make it sharper here. Keep the point. Ooh, that's good cut. All right. What do you think? Probably have to even this out a little bit here. Here's our unhappy Cyclops. What do we think, folks? Oh, trying to get put this brick back on. Where it goes? Where does it go? There it is. What do we think about our? That looks great. Looks good. Thank you, Road. Thank you, Lashbrook. Everybody joining me. This pumpkin, we got the designs there. Obviously, I'm going to trim it up. I got to scoop out a bunch of gunk out of this thing. But I want to make sure that we get to our third pumpkin. So I'm going to leave it at that. Obviously, there's some sort of innards in here that I got to clean out and fix. But here is our unhappy Cyclops. Oops. The lid fell on the floor. That's not fun. I got to get that. Kick that over. It's rolling weirdly. Okay. Yeah, I have to scrape it out and clean it up, but that's 2 pumpkins down. Now, before we do our third one, which will be this one here, our third pumpkin, let's do an ad break. I'm not running ads. I'm just advertising myself. 1, if you're watching this stream for the first time and you're not already a following, how about give me a follow and set your notifications so you know when I stream. My normal stream time is Thursday and Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. I do model kits, Gundam, I do Lego. I focus on building. It's very fun. We talk a lot about anime. We haven't talked anime today, probably in the last pumpkin we're carving. I'll talk more about some anime stuff because I did watch one thing today and I have opinions on it. Otherwise, I'll just wait till Thursday. But yeah, and there are ways to support the channel here. I'm gonna go to the mouse a little bit. You could be a subscriber. You could use your Twitch coin, or you could use actual money here on Twitch. That would be awesome. I also have a Patreon. The patrons, the $5 level, are going to get the source video from this, which is better quality than the stream. They're going to get that tonight, and then it'll be on my YouTube tomorrow for everyone else. $10 gets a vote on the model kits I build and what I build next. They voted for me to do the lightning jet that I'm working on now. I'll do another one later based on their vote. I have an Amazon wish list. If you would like to see me build a model kit or a Lego set or something, I put a bunch of stuff on my Amazon wish list. You could go there. I've got a beautiful webcam at the bottom of the page that's better than the ones I have here. I wouldn't mind upgrading. It's not necessary, but I put it on the wish list. And then I have a tip jar, a coffee that you could put some money in. Any money I make through Twitch, Patreon, my tip jar goes into me buying equipment, model kits. The $13 I spent on pumpkins today, the $13 I spent on pumpkins came directly out of the money I made on YouTube. I finally got paid last week from YouTube for all the ads that have run, because for a long time the only thing I put up was stuff that couldn't be monetized. Now I can do that. I do not have a 1-800 number, Harold. I should have a 1-800 number. You can text bear to this number and you automatically do whatever. But no, but those are just a few ways to support me. I also have a Discord. Feel free to join that. It's pretty fun. I'll put the link in there. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, all of these links are in the show notes. Next month, the bonus stream, which we will do in the middle-ish of November, because I'm going to need the thing we build for December, is I will announce now, my next month, my bonus stream, instead of games, once again, we'll take a break, is going to be papercraft. That might be over the course of a couple streams. But the next big project I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make out of cardboard a wrestling belt for League of Heels. The winner of our tournament will be crowned the King of Cardboard and receive a replica belt made out of cardboard of our League of Heels championship. I will make that on stream in a cross-branding extravaganza. So that's the next bonus stream. We'll be doing papercraft, and it'll be the first time I'll ever do anything outside of pumpkin carving that's completely original, that's completely just like not a model kit. I'll be building some papercraft in November. I'm very excited about that, and this is the first time I've mentioned it to the stream. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm very excited about it. I hope you will join me in that when the time comes next month. Speaking of League of Heels, while I get into figuring out what this last pumpkin's going to be, I'll start by just doing the stem here. Get your ideas in your head about how you want eyes. Should this one have a nose? What kind of mouth you want? Get those ideas in your head while I'm doing this, and while I tell you that on Friday when I put up a video up, I'm going to retweet it after this from the League of Heels account. We put a video up about the merchandise we've got for our League of Heels show, and I'm going to put one picture up right now. Actually, no, I'll just go to the photo. Wait, I can just do that. Here we go. This is what we've got for sale for the League of Heels. I wanted to point out that the video game shirt, it will only be sold at the show. Posters will be at all future shows. VHS will be at all shows, live shows. The button is new and free. Free button. League of Heels Blue. We debuted the blue color at PAX. We're bringing it back. PAX West. We're bringing it back for Unplugged. That video game shirt will only be sold at the League of Heels table in Bandland at Unplugged. It'll never be sold again because we can't sell it online. I'm never going to say any relation to it being a parody of some other shirt. Some people say it's a parody of a particular shirt. I don't think it is. I've never seen anything like it. Anyway, I wanted to talk about that because I'm proud of that design. That is by Owen Douglas, Ozone, on Twitter. Friend of League of Heels. He a Philadelphia native who will be at the show helping me, and will probably be at the table sometimes too. If anything, we have Owen to thank for having shirts at PAX Unplugged because Big Street Breakfast is now following. Thank you, Big Street Breakfast. Appreciate the follow. We have Owen to thank because Owen is receiving our shirts. He is a local and getting our shirts for us, which is going to be really beneficial because I'm staying in an Airbnb, and I could certainly ask them to receive 2 boxes with about 90 shirts total, but I would appreciate. But I can also see them being like, fuck no. So I overdrew my cut here for this stem for the lid, but it's going to be the back of the pumpkin, so I don't mind. Because you can see this right here, right here. Obviously, one would say you could carve this out if you wanted to, but I don't like the look of this. I'd rather it be in the back. I think our stem looks good in the front anyway. I want this to kind of be near the front. So it's okay that I've kind of gone against the grain on that one. Because if the back of it has that cut, it's not a big deal. We are now in the home stretch. I'm going to go to about 5:30-ish. I'm just scoring this lid here, and then I will make some diagonal cuts. We're now on our third pumpkin. You know the drill. What I'm most likely to do is the pumpkin we didn't carve on stream, I'm just going to take into work. We have a bunch of Sharpies of different colors at work, and we'll probably just do it in marker, and I'll let like the staff make it. Let them decorate it. And then you can then we can do the thing like you said, turn it around. Booyah. You've got yourself a pumpkin for November. And I'm just stabbing inward. We already made that joke about stabbing westward. Don't need to make it again. No need to make it again. All right, folks, let's start getting the chat going here. What would we like to see in this pumpkin? What would you like? There we go. Came right out. What would you like to see for a mouth? What would you like to see for eyes? Would you like two noses? Would you like vampire fangs? Would you like a bunch of teeth? Front teeth? Just one fang? One fang? And we kind of go into a fangirl situation? Maybe? I don't know. It's up to y'all. Let me know what you would like in this pumpkin. Really big, huge eyes, tiny mouth. Reminder that I'm not great with circles when it comes to carving, but I'll do my best. I think I'm best with squares and triangles, but yeah, let me know in the chat what you would like to see in our last pumpkin we're going to carve, because I don't think we're going to get to a fourth pumpkin in this time we have left. What would you like to see? Ah, yes, the anime pumpkin. Big eyes, small mouth. That's what I'm thinking about. Maybe doing an anime pumpkin, Lashbrook. I don't know. But now while I'm carving here, while I'm scooping and all that, it's a good time to figure it out. This is like when we did on the stream Monster Girl Maker, only it's just pumpkin guts. All right. We're just carving a pumpkin instead of making a young lady. All right. All them guts coming out. All of them. Getting all those seeds up. Trying to get a lot of the seeds out. Once again, not going to really scrape in here too much. Going to do some of it, especially in the front. I'll try to scrape the front more than I did for the last one. Speaking of old references, yeah. That was old. That was a couple months ago that we did Monster Girl Maker. All right. Oh, so I won't tweet it out probably, but today's episode of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime was good. It was cool. It was interesting. We met the king. That was kind of cool. It does start in back in the, like, I don't know what to call it. It's a host club, but with elves. The elves host club that we ended the last episode in, they start in. And there's a really terrible joke in it. Sexual joke. And then we get away from it. And hopefully we're done with that stuff. Although the ending theme does introduce the... I don't know what class of... I think they're ogres. I think we're going to meet some ogres at some point. And there's There's an ogre lady that wears like a her costume is that she's like a businesswoman, like an executive assistant, uh, ogre lady, and I think that's like actually a really cool look, and I'm excited to meet her. But I know that we're inching closer and closer to harem territory, and that's a bummer because this show is really great without that. But otherwise, it's still enjoyable. Uh, no, you were talking about Big Eyes Small Mouth was the anime RPG system back when I was in college. Okay, Lashbrook, I did not get that reference. I have no idea what you're talking about. As for next suggestion, since the backside is so effed up, maybe some sort of decrepit pumpkin, jagged teeth, crooked eyes, or something. Oh, okay. Some sort of weird, yeah, jagged teeth thing. We can do that. I'm just scooping right now. I'm scraping and scooping. I won't go full. I want to get in there. Oh, yeah, that's gross in the back. I'm glad I'm not cutting that out from that. There's a little bit of gross inside this pumpkin. Not really that bad, but it's not great in here. All right, just scraping along. Scraping along. Yeah, if anybody in the chat has any ideas of what they would like to see on this pumpkin as far as nose and mouth. Right now, Lastbrook has said maybe like some kind of like messed up teeth, weird teeth, uh, decrepit looking. I can do my best to try to do that, but yeah. Anybody else has anything? I will take suggestions and pick the one I think will be easiest for me to do and look the best. The two criteria is look good and actually possible for my skill set. Or dual criteria. I'm just right now really scraping the front where I'm going to have the most cutting to do. Because I have to cut through. And then I will finish off the back at another date. All right. Would it be possible to eyebrows? Is there enough room? So one of the reasons why I made this lid as short as I did was to give me more room to do things. Because we're going to do it here. Well, I say that because it's here. So, yeah. So we did sad. I think we're going to try to do angry. I'm going to try to do angry eyebrows. I'll show you when I'm done. Some sort of triangle eyes. Triangle eyes. Triangle eyes I just know I'm good at. So I'm going to do that. Or not hard for me to carve. I'm going to do small eyes and then some mouth like that. Yeah, small. This is kind of what I'm looking at. What I'm thinking of doing here. Do like this. That's, I think, the pumpkin I'm looking at. Gonna try to do a small mouth. We haven't done small that much. And then I'm gonna try to do one fang. One fang. We're gonna go anime style and do one fang. So I can already tell I'm gonna make this mouth wider. My mouth was too small, but it'll still be small. But we're gonna try to get your eyebrows in, Road. And it won't be decrepit. I don't think we're going to go decrepit. I'm sorry, Lashbrook. That might be outside my skill set. Okay. So we'll start by, as always, scoring it. And then we'll... So yeah, oh yeah, I can put this off now. 3 pumpkins in 1 bag, that's pretty good. So we'll do that. Cut that. And cut that. Thank you, Lashbrook. I appreciate that. No worries. All right. And then we'll score some eyes here. That. 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 Yeah, so I think scoring. Okay, 3 stars. Thank you, Harold. Not that kind of scoring, but you knew that. You're just joshing me. Just being friendly. Yeah, most likely what I'm going to do with the 4th pumpkin is I'm just going to bring it into my work with one of these 3. And then I'll either carve it myself, or not carve it myself, do it with some Sharpies, or let people do it. All right, so do like that. That. Go up, up, up. I'll do like this. I'm going to do my best to not fuck up this one fang. Coming towards it. I'm going to make it deeper. Yeah, and then my goal is to not fuck it up. If I lose the fang, I lose the fang. But I'm also, I'm going to do my best. I don't want to lose the fang because I think it's cool. But I'm okay if I do lose the fang. Try to make that nice and sharp. Great. That should be the end of our X-Acto knife, but we might want to use it for some fine touching here and there. But we're going to actually start with our mouth here and just not worry about going too deep the first cut and then going back and going deep. Bottom of the mouth, we're okay making big cuts on because there's nothing delicate in there. Then just kind of nice and easy on that. And then nice and easy on this. Nice and easy. Then nice and easy. That part. And we'll just keep the cut going. As you can see. So that section should pop out. Nice and easy. There it did. And then the other cut. Nice and easy. We'll cut out the bottom again. Cut this part out. And then getting more confident as we go because I have been able to do, this is the 3rd pumpkin obviously, as you know. And then cut it like this, and I'll show the results in just a second. Great. 1 fang. We did it. Obviously, it needs some adjustment. Hey, folks that are just joining, I've been going since about 3:30 p.m. today doing pumpkin carving. I'll show off all of them at the end. Right now, we are working on our last one here, and then we'll do some cleanup and some fine tooth working. These are, as I said at the top of the stream, sugar pumpkins. These are actually mostly used for painting because they are smaller, or because they have a lot of good meat to them, used in baking and cooking. Um, and normally the big jack-o'-lantern sized pumpkins are used more for carving. But because I'm working with the constraints of being on a stream and doing all that, I didn't want to get a giant pumpkin, so I went with 4 small pumpkins, and we've carved 3 of them. We're finishing up our last one right now, if you're just joining us on the stream. Thanks for being here. I did mention, and I'm teasing it, that I will be on someone else's stream this weekend. Details forthcoming. Actually, I should see if that schedule went up. But I will be making an appearance at someone's stream this weekend. I'll do my normal stream Thursday and Saturday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Yeah. But it'll be a cool little thing. I just got a message about that. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it all out. But yeah, I'm going to be streaming this weekend, and it'll be cool. So I think it'll be fun for people to do and watch as I kind of show a novice how to do some model kit building. Very excited about that. All right. Now let's try to cut this thing. Let's cut these tidy eyes out and these eyebrows. I'm going to do the eyebrows next because I want there to be... So this is the thing I didn't bring up yet, right? When you're working small like this, we've got to nail the structure of it, okay? So when we cut out here, we're breaking down the strength of the pumpkin. So I want to do this next and do these last. Because we're breaking down the thing. We're now like making the amount of pumpkin. We're removing whole sections of the pumpkin, so that does make it tough. All right, right now I'm just kind of stabbing through with very small cuts. Robot Crank just cheered 1,000. Thank you so much, Robot Crank. Robot Crank, one, hello, and 2, I owe you a message because on Saturday, you won the raffle for the Lego sets, the subscriber raffle. You were not at the stream, which is fine. Don't worry about it. But you won that, so I'm going to send you a Twitter message, or sorry, not a Twitter message, a whisper on Twitch tonight when I'm at work, because I had not done that, and I apologize for not messaging you sooner. But, yeah, Robot Crank, you won 2 Lego sets that I built on the stream. And so I will message you about that. This is a good reminder for me that I fucking have to do that. And hadn't yet. Alright, so I'm almost done with the eyebrows. I'll reveal that. And yeah, thank you for the cheer. Cheers are always accepted. Cheers and bits. Didn't mention that when at the middle when I took my break. But yeah, always appreciate, always accepted. Cheers and bits. Cheers and bits. Alright, so then we'll do our eyes. Here's our eyebrows. They're not perfect. You might say they're not great, but I think they look pretty good. Let's get this mouth in here going a little bit here. Carve down some of that mouth. All right, let's get some eyes in. We'll put a nose on this one too. Maybe we'll freehand a nose. And freehand that. Now we're just going to scrape in. I was deep into playing Kingdom Hearts 3 by sleep trying to finish them all. The 3 comes out, so I missed the stream. Do not worry about Robot Crank. As I said, folks have stuff coming up. I stream on a Saturday night. I expect to have less people watching on Saturday than I do on a Thursday night. I'm totally like accepting that and understand that. Like that's part of it. It's just that it works really well in my schedule to stream on Saturday. Also, there are other streamers who are, like bigger than me that do it, that do stuff on Saturdays as well. So I am never expecting a huge turnout on Saturday. Thursday's usually when more people watch. Um, I'm still debating what I'm going to do about Thanksgiving. Like, so far I have not been invited to a Thanksgiving dinner yet. So I was thinking I might just fucking stream. What I might do is start early and like make a Thanksgiving dinner and then eat and hang out and kind of talk with chat and then build after. I'm thinking about doing like an hour extra that Thanksgiving, but I haven't come to a decision yet. I also might get invited to something for Thanksgiving. It's just the people that normally do the Friendsgiving I go to, they just moved and they're having a nightmare with moving. So I don't know if they're going to be in a position to host. And my stove, the oven part of my stove doesn't work great. It's very unreliable, and the heating is not dependable. The temperature staying in it, what you want it to, so I can't host. So I might not. I might just do like just do a meal, make a meal, and then have people hang out in the stream. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Something might come up. All right, so we are done here with our design. I still have scraping to do and all that, which I'll do here while we kind of hang out. I'll show off all of the kits that I have made here. Do that. And we can now take a look at our finished pumpkin. I'll clean it up, and then we'll take a look at it. Here we go. Still managed to get some pumpkin shit on the floor. Some pumpkin seeds. Not shit, but seeds. Still managed. And like I said, these aren't done. I still got to go in and really scrape them out. But for our purposes, all intents and purposes, there we are with our tiny mouth friend with some eyebrows and one fang. And I would probably clean this up the bottom a little bit. But yeah, so that's our friend there. Let's look at all our friends. We got this friend. We've got this friend. Our Cyclops with the mouth thing. I gotta cut that out. Gotta fix that. Our unhappy Cyclops. And a big dumb mouth. That kind of looks like Jack Frost from Persona, or at least what's popping in my head when I look at Pokemon. Yeah, I can see that. And yeah, then we have our big mouth friend. So the question I have for y'all, which one do you think I should, we'll put this like this, this like that. Which one do you think I should finish up and then bring into work to be displayed in the UCB East Village lobby? Which of these pumpkin friends? I'm personally leaning to Giant Mouth. It's our first one, but I think it's the one I think is really fun and stupid looking. I do like Fang, and I think you need to know this is a Cyclops to get what this is. I think I did a very weird job with this one. I don't think it's ready for prime time. But yeah, what's your feedback, folks? Which one do you think I should bring in? Cyclops, Big Mouth, or Fang? Let me know in the comments. DrakV or Drak7 says I like Fang. That's a vote for Fang. Clean up a little bit here while we do this. Yeah, so we got one vote for Fang. Lashbrook likes Big Mouth. Kind of likes Big Mouth. I'm trying to get these to stand up like this, and it's not working right. There we go. Nope. Well, I clean up a little bit. But yeah, let me know. I am leaning towards Big Mouth myself. I think it might be the best job I did of these, but I don't know. I'm obviously willing to just think about it. Sorry. Wanted to move this. I wanted to get this off the floor. I got to clean that up so that it doesn't get gross. Big Mouth. Big Mouth. Robot Crank and Harold both say Big Mouth. Lashbrook says Big Mouth. Fang, I think there's something great about Fang. I do really like Fang. As I said, I think I didn't do Cyclops justice. I gotta make sure I get all the right right tops on. But all right. So I think we're gonna do. I'm gonna bring this into work with me. Put it in a bag, clean it up. It's also the most clean because of the first one I did. So I took my time scraping it out. I actually don't have to do any scraping, it looks like. And I think everything else is good for this. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put the other two pumpkins out on my steps. Tonight when I get home from work, I will finish these up. I will clean them up. I'll scrape them out, make them ready for prime time. But yeah, I think that's it. And that's just about it for the stream. This was the bonus monthly stream. I do this once a month. I'm actually thinking that I'll probably play games in November, and the Papercraft project will just be sometime in November when one of my kits is done. Instead of doing another kit, we'll just start doing the cardboard work, because that's gonna be more than probably a stream, because I've never made a wrestling belt out of cardboard before. So I want to give myself some time. So probably the middle of the month I'll suddenly do that and just do the bonus game stream and actually play games, because I don't want to do 2 months without playing any games. For some reason I thought this would go a lot faster and we would do like something else, but you know, time flies when you are having fun. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to end the stream. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday, Tuesday for a couple of y'all. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back this Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I will let you know when I know about the other stuff that I'm going to be doing as far as streaming goes, if that happens. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to fix this because it got all weird. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks for watching the stream. Bye-bye.